Oh look, a cute little fashion game came out, and I have the fashion sense of a colorblind chameleon. So obviously this should be the new game that I play this week over all of the others. So I did. This is my first time playing a fashion game per se, so expect some oddities from me in this first impression of Fashion Dreamers. I guess I should explain first how I got here, the backstory and understanding of why I picked this game this week over any of the other possibilities. Over the past few weeks, I've been playing Sunhaven and some other games with a few people in my Discord, linked in the description. Shameless plug, I know. And one of them has been super duper excited for this game, so it's sort of been on my radar for a little bit. And thank you, Jesse, for that. Then on November 3rd, which was yesterday when I'm recording this, the game released. And I happened to wake up at 2 a.m., don't judge me, and saw a Twitch streamer that I watch somewhat regularly, Nemo0, had bought and was playing through some of the beginning of the game, designing outfits, seeing what other people were doing, and I thought, well, might as well give this game a try. So shoutouts to Jesse and Nemo. Now, let's first jump into my experiences in the game, and then I'll give a few of my impressions. Actually, you know what? Scrap that. Let's jump into my experiences, and I'll give you my impressions along the way. I first bought the game, because that's what you do with games, right? You buy them, and I needed to delete a game to install it, so I deleted Mario 3D All-Stars to make space for it, right? And then I downloaded the nearly 6 gigabyte game. After launching it, I jumped straight into character creation, where I chose between a body type A and body type B. I chose A because, look at all of my characters that I make. And then I got stuck trying to figure out the height that my character should be for a bit. I'll be honest, I found this hard to do, mostly since height in a void is basically meaningless. Yes, 9 is tall, 1 is short, but how tall and short are the in-betweens, really? I don't know. But after struggling for a bit, I decided on height 4, and I later learned that you can change this stuff basically at any time. But it's a big decision, so I'm sticking with it. Yeah, and height 4 might have been a little bit taller than I wanted, but I'm not sure, honestly. On the subject of the rest of character creation, though, I thought that a lot of the options were pretty well done, except the hairstyles were honestly a bit limited. And like half of the hairstyles weren't actually new hairstyles, but the same as the previous one with a flip in the way that the hair, parts or whatever it is, which I thought could have just been a toggle button rather than a new hairstyle, but you need to pad those options somehow. But, what do I know? If that's my biggest gripe, I don't know. Besides those two things, though, the character creation went pretty smoothly. And at the end, I answered a few questions about my character or myself, and yeah. With that, I was thrown into the world of Eve and landed in Cocoon Hope, a futuristic and idyllic cityscape within the virtual world. I was given a guided and mandatory tour of the basic functionality of this game, which was both needed for me and felt both a little hard-handed and not strict enough at times for me, but I'd assume if you know this type of game a bit more, that it would just come across as fairly hard-handed and possibly not needed. Some parts of this tutorial dragged on a bit for me, but I did generally know what I was doing at the end of it, and it hadn't driven me out of the game yet, so I guess mission successful? The general mechanics of the game are that you can gain clothes by viewing them either on characters or a pop-up shop and, liking them. You can do this with either individual pieces if you're picky or with the entire outfit a character is wearing if you aren't. I figured that the more options that I had, the better, so I ended up just taking the outfits every time. I also eventually unlocked a drone to take pictures, a showroom to display my style and stuff, the ability to take egg photos, which were just photos. I don't get it. Play gacha game for clothes, which, used in-game tokens that could not be bought for money, I will stress. And also bingo for a pink coin currency in the game, which seemed cute enough until I realized that they actually implemented the full bingo with like the proper numbering system used in the game and everything. So I guess no more trips to the bingo hall from me. These are all of the like subsidiary mechanics of the game. They're not really the main mechanics, but they're there. And I think they work well enough to add like flavor to the game in a non-annoying way. So overall, pretty positive. And with that, let's move on to some of the more central features that I ran into. Obviously, the most core feature of the game is designing outfits for the characters within it. This is how you progress through and unlock most of the other features of the game beyond just being the main thing the game is about. Yeah, you talk to a character, they'll tell you what they want, and you design an outfit for them that hopefully matches what they want. Although the characters do seem to respond positively to just about anything you make them. The only negative to really making something that they don't want seems to be that you don't really get as much followers or currency, and you might not progress on their own personal heart path, whatever that is, as quickly. This means that progress at the start is always possible, although it can be quite slow if you don't have the outfits that you need, which again are basically just given through random chance or gotcha. You might not always have what you need, sorry. At the beginning, I tended to get a bit mad at the game because everyone that I ran into seemed to want a simple, unadorned outfit, which I had, but I wanted to do something different after making 2 or 3 of these. Eventually, I did progress enough to raise my level and unlock multiplayer. And when I did, I turned it on and things began to change a bit. If you don't know, the multiplayer in this game adds other people's muses, which are their names for the player characters, to your games as static NPC-like characters that you can see. The only real difference is they have their number of followers over their head, and when you talk to them, instead of telling you what they want, they'll give you that little questionnaire answer that you filled out at the beginning as the suggestions. And just like with the other NPCs, you can view their outfits and steal them for your own needs, making this one of the better, if not best, ways of getting some of the more rare outfits in the game, especially early on. And beyond that, you can also suggest outfits for them based off of their questionnaire, but I never did this because I think it would be super presumptuous of me, of all people, to assume that I know anything about fashion beyond literally anyone else in the game. And all of this was a problem because I did all of this being like, I shouldn't do this, despite wanting other people to suggest outfits for my character because I couldn't decide on anything that I liked throughout this entire thing. But I think a lot of people just don't like suggesting outfits to other people because, again, presumptuous. I didn't get a single one. Sorry. The multiplayer also adds a showcase stream where you can go and visit other players' rooms, which, by the way, I don't think I mentioned earlier, but there are these little showcase rooms that you can decorate and put your stuff in. I didn't mention it because when I first went into it, I just sort of left because it was a tutorial thing. But you can decorate it. You can put mannequins in it and decorate those with outfits, and people can come by and if you're in the multiplayer and view and like and steal those outfits as well, which I did a little bit. So more ways of sharing outfits. There seem to be a lot of those. The other thing that happened when I unlocked multiplayer is, I don't know if this was me just talking to a bunch of the NPCs or stuff, because I didn't want to deal with the player characters and giving stuff to them. So I started leveling up the NPCs and they started asking for not simple outfits, which was good. But they started asking for rare items and color combinations, which was bad for me because I just didn't have them. This ended up creating a problem for me because even though there's no real penalty for designing unwanted outfits, what kind of monster would just ignore the wishes of their customers? But eventually I did get enough points to rank up my influencer ranking, something that I'm trying to do here on YouTube, which requires 1,000 subscribers. So please help me, please. And I gained access to another cocoon or zone in the game, and this one was based off of a neon city aesthetic and was a bit more sporty, which also had all the same amenities that the first one had, including the bingo stuff, which is a bit weird. And I guess it's here that I should inform you that the gacha machines, while taking the same tickets, appear to be different in each zone, so it might be a good idea to save your tickets beyond the one you need to spend in the tutorial to find a gacha machine that you like. And this is also where I stopped playing for my first day because because I was honestly a bit sleepy. And oh yeah, before I forget, you can also design clothes by changing their colors and things, which I haven't really done much of yet because I don't know how fashion works with regular clothes. So I decided not to add any variables of like changing colors and random stuff like that. So yeah, that's all the mechanics of the game. My overall impressions were that I enjoyed what I played. There are obviously some things that could be fixed or done a bit better. For example, the filtering for some types of clothes sometimes felt annoying and only needed because there appeared to be like no actual sorting on the items that you were picking from. I don't know, maybe I missed something. With that said, I didn't really have any major complaints. The game was basically what I was expecting going in. Maybe just a little bit more, not a ton. And if you enjoyed everything that I talked about and didn't hate most of it, you might enjoy the game. That said, it's got a $50 price tag, which is probably a bit steep for it, at least from what I've seen, but I haven't honestly played through most of it. I think I'm like a quarter of the way through in terms of unlocking stuff. So I don't know if the game matches that price tag somewhere, but so far, I'm not sure. I bought the game expecting it to hold my attention for maybe a week or so, and it'll probably do that. So with that, I don't have really any complaints for my purchase. And with that, you made it to the end of the video. Here are the people who support me financially, and I'd like to thank you. If you want to help me and don't want to spend money and also have Amazon Prime, you can use a Prime sub over on my Twitch, linked in the description, to support me and only spend Amazon's money if you want. And if you're this far in the video, please let me know your thoughts on the game and your favorite type of apple. And I mean the fruit, not the computer. If you want to see more content from me, here's a reaction video that I made discussing the state of cozy games a bit more generally, and thank you for watching.